everyone, so I'm back for another Halloween tutorial and today's a zombie one. I was inspired by this picture. Let me show it to you guys. Well, I'll insert it somewhere here. It was created by Calandra Studio. The picture was off Instagram, but I'll link their Instagram in the info box. But the picture was like so good. Obviously it's not exactly the same, but I was just inspired by it. But yeah, that's where my inspiration was from. And another reason is because Walking Dead is coming up soon and I am so like excited to see who got hit. I just want to know because it's been killing me this past year. So I hope you guys will enjoy this tutorial and we'll jump straight into it. So to start off this look, I already have my contacts in. These are the Mesmerize in Manson and I'll link them in the info box. And then I poured some liquid latex by Kryolan on a piece of plate and let it dry overnight, and it became this round piece. And I actually cut it up and just placed this around my eyes to create kind of like saggy eyes, and I did again use the Kryolan liquid latex to stick them on. And yeah, I'm just kind of doing this randomly around my eye area, but that's a good tip if you want to kind of make a prosthetic or anything. You can just pour liquid latex on a plate and let it dry overnight and you have some like pieces. I am laying down my brows. I'm using some Pritt Stick and just combing them out, and it just lays them flat, and just setting that with some white eyeshadow. I am also setting all the other latex pieces with eyeshadow as well. Then you're gonna need some toilet paper, and I'm just randomly ripping this up and dipping them in latex and applying this around my mouth area. And I kind of used an eyebrow pencil just to line where I want the tissue paper to stop, because that's where the teeth and the open mouth will be. And I'm just laying latex around these areas, and you want to be quite generous with the latex and blend it out towards the skin so it doesn't look like you've just glued something on your face. And you want to apply around like 2 layers or so and a lot of liquid latex. In the picture, the nostrils and the nose were quite exposed and quite open, so I'm covering my nose with some tissue paper and letting it kind of hang off my nose, and then applying a lot of liquid latex on top of that. I also applied some latex around the latex pieces that we glued around the eyes, and put some tissue paper on there as well. You really don't need to be neat with this because like zombie skin's so rotten and fleshy, and it's just really not neat anyway, so you can be as messy as you'd like. Just make sure that that you're blending the latex out into the skin so that it blends and it's just not a clump of skin on your face. I'm also doing the forehead piece, and this is going to be the cut on the forehead, and I also did one for like the collarbone as well. We are going to be ripping this apart later, so you want to apply 2 or 3 layers and let it dry. I'm going to be drying it off with a hairdryer just to speed up the process. Now this is the part where I'm going to start ripping the latex, and it's quite hard now, so you just want to peel off the insides of the latex around the mouth area, and you don't want to pull it all the way through. You just want to pull it just a tinsy bit so that you can kind of rip it and make it look like peeled off dead skin. You want to be really random with this because this is what's going to make it look more realistic. And for that teared up piece in the middle, I just made a strand of tissue paper and glued it up and then just peeled it off the skin. And I'm doing the forehead bit as well, but I started ripping from the center, and I'm doing the same thing for the chest cut as well. Now I'm just grabbing some Snazaroo brown face paint and just applying this all over the white areas so that when I put the foundation on top, it's not going to change the color of it. It's just going to make it look all even. The foundation that I'm using is the EX1 Cosmetics Invisiwear Liquid Foundation in the shade 8, and I'm just dabbing this everywhere, on my neck, on my shoulders, on my face, and on my brows as well. The only areas that I'm avoiding is the inside parts of the cuts and around the mouth, the forehead, and the chest cut as well, because we are going to be painting that red, black and brown colours later on, so you want to keep that bit bare. And like I said, I'm just bringing it down my neck and my chest and arms as well. And I just set that all in place with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Transparent. I'm using this Kryolan Aqua Colour face paint in grey, and I'm stippling this all over my skin just to create a zombie kind of skin color. You want to be quite random with this again and just apply little pressure because you don't want it to be too harsh. I'm doing this everywhere. With these paints you just need to activate it with water, and they're really easy to use, and they're like £3.25 I believe for one colour, so they're really cheap in my opinion. And then I'm also using the khaki green as well in the Kryolan Aqua colour paint. I did also go back with the Snazaroo dark brown face paint in some areas just to darken those areas up as well, and I'm using the Mehron Clown white face paint and highlighting some areas according to the picture. I was just looking back and forth from the picture and just highlighting the areas that were highlighted in the picture. So for example, the wrinkles that I created around the eyes to create the sagginess, I just highlighted the highest points of those, so the highest points of the pieces of latex that we stuck around the eyes. And then I'm going in with some black to create some shadowing, and I'm using the Snazaroo black face paint, and I'm using this around the eyes, but not completely, just very lightly, because I wanted to add some red face paint as well. But I'm just contouring the eye area and also just shading the wrinkles around the eyes as well. Now this is the Aqua Color face paint by Kryolan, and I'm just applying this on the lower lash line and also in the cuts. Now going back in with the black, I'm continuing filling up the eye area, and I'm also shading the inside parts of the skin around the cuts, so underneath the teared up latex that we created. And now I'm doing the nose. I really copied off the picture right here. I tried to, it was quite hard, but all you have to do is just keep looking back and forth and from like an inspo pic, and you'll be able to do kind of like a nose. It's more of like a skeleton nose, I would say, so if you can do skeleton nose, I think that'll be okay. I was trying to add some shading around it to make it look more realistic, and I also tried to do the nostril parts as well, which was just colouring, like you could just do like 2 black triangles if you are having trouble with it, but it's just like 2 triangles I already created just on the bottom bit. And I'm just also creating like some shading around the forehead as well, according to the picture as well, because the nose was kind of cracked. That's why I added a bit of white in the centre as well. So this is where I start to kind of create the sagginess around the eyes. So I'm shading quite close to the wrinkles and then highlighting the highest points of them. I also did use the Noir eyeshadow from the Anastasia Shadow Couture palette, or you can use any black eyeshadow, just to deepen the eye socket. So I'm really applying a lot around the outside and then just fading it out towards my eyeballs really. And I also did use Fudge from the palette, which is a dark brown, just to fill in the rest of the eye socket. I did also go back in with Mehron Clown White just to highlight the brow area, so that this will give an illusion that the eye sockets are even really deep. And again, I'm just going back with some white just to highlight the under eyes a bit, so it creates a lot of sagginess and texture. But with the shading and lighting, you really want to play around with it, and if you are having trouble with it, just practice a few times. But you just have to kind of shade wherever you see lines, and then highlight the highest points of those lines so it creates more dimension. So for the teeth, I'm actually cutting up some white false nails, and I'm colouring the inside bit of the mouth first. So I'm using the brown paint from Snazaroo first and just filling that area up. I also grabbed some black just to shade the inner bits of under the skin. So wherever we teared the latex, you just want to shade that part just to make it look really deep and make it look like it has been teared off the face. And the part where the farthest part from the mouth, so around my ear area, I just painted that mostly black and red, and that will just be like hollowness. And then I'm just painting the center black, and I did use some spirit gum just to glue those nails in place. To give some rotten colour to the teeth, I'm using this tooth enamel in the shade Nicotine and just colouring their lips in and fading them out with using my finger. You could also use like an old brush or something. And then I'm just going in with some red paint from the Kryolan Aquacolor paints and just shading around the teeth and around my lip area, because we're going to make it look like as if it was gum. I just highlighted the red paint with some white paint and then shaded it with some black in between, just to give an illusion that it was like just gum really. And then the final step really was just a lot of scab blood, I think that's what it's called. And this is the Ben Nye scab blood, I think, and oh no, it's not scab blood, it's Fresh Scab by Ben Nye, and I'm just using this a lot around the teeth, the cuts, also on the perimeter of the ripped skin, underneath the skin, and I did apply a lot on the chest cut as well. You could also use fake blood, but I feel like a Fresh Scab is better because it's more of a gel consistency, so it stays in place and it doesn't leak everywhere and it's less messy. The only thing is it's a bit sticky, but I don't really mind that. I prefer that than for it to leak everywhere. I think it's more of like a zombie kind of blood, I guess. But that's the end of this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!